Ski Boy.
Good evening, Gulf Coast. I hope that you had a marvelous Monday. Let's get you caught up on Tropical Depression 2. It is slowly moving to the northwest at 3 miles per hour. So really over the last 24 hours, it's just kind of been meandering throughout the northeastern Gulf. Currently has winds of 35 miles per hour. And there is still a chance that it could become Tropical Storm Bertha. The National Hurricane Center calling for it to become a tropical storm potentially by later tonight into very early tomorrow morning. But it might be losing that window to strengthen. And we'll talk more about that in just one moment. But we are at least feeling the outer influence of Tropical Depression 2. You can see some of those showers and thunderstorms on the outer edge of the circulation have moved into our neighborhood, and we're seeing some of those showers and storms currently. Thankfully, there's nothing out there that's too strong, but as it gets closer, we'll likely continue to see increased rain bands. So here's a really cool view with the visible satellite, and you can tell that Tropical Depression 2 isn't moving through the best environment because you can clearly see the low-level circulation on the visible satellite. And the reason why you can see it is because it's dealing with dry air, and as it slowly works its way to the northwest, I put these arrows on here because as it continues to move to the northwest, it's going to encounter northeasterly wind shear. So the environment that it's moving into, really not all that favorable. But again, the National Hurricane Center calling through the next 12 hours, it has the chance to become Tropical Storm Bertha, and potentially by 1 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, maybe winds of 50 miles per hour. There's still some uncertainty of just how far north it'll go. And as we talked about last week, a weaker solution would always favor a northerly track, while a stronger system would likely favor a southern track. So if it does work its way towards our neighborhood, we're likely looking at maybe a higher end tropical depression or a weak tropical storm. And that's why along our stretch of the Gulf Coast, we do have tropical storm watches that are currently posted. Once we move past Wednesday, whatever Tropical Depression 2 is at that point will continue to move to the west, and by Friday into Saturday, whatever it is will be moving into Texas. To this point, most forecast models continue to keep that center of circulation just offshore. There's been a little bump northward in the model trend so far today, but again, keeping it mainly down to our south, and then as we move into the second part of the week, moves across southeastern Louisiana, eventually over towards Texas. Let's go ahead and put everything into motion, and we'll show you one forecast model. And this is a weaker forecast model, so it favors that northerly solution closer to our stretch of the Gulf Coast. And we'll start this evening at 6 o'clock in the evening on Monday, showing the bulk of the thunderstorm activity on the southern side of the circulation. Really doesn't move all that much over the next 12 hours, but then as we go into our Tuesday, starts to pick up a little bit more momentum and starts to work its way more towards the northwest. And you can see by tomorrow afternoon, we'll continue to see the chance for those rain bands, but they'll likely be scattered in nature. So while some spots could see times of heavy rain, not expecting a washout for our Tuesday. Then as we go from Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, that's when that center of circulation could start to approach. But thanks to the wind shear, it could push all the thunderstorm activity well south of the circulation and really could decouple it, which means we could see two different circulations kind of take hold. But even if it does brush towards our area, rain bands will be a possibility, especially down towards the coastline. And as we see our wind switch out of the south, could see some coastal flooding, even some storm surge. And then I don't need to tell you that the surf will definitely be increased from this. And then from Wednesday into Thursday, it pushes its way off towards the west. This is the rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center over the next 7 days. And you can tell this is going to be a sheared storm with the bulk of the rain expected offshore. For those spots across our area that will see the most rain, and likely down towards the coast and east of I-65, 2 to 4 inches of rain a possibility. And really, if you're inland, you might not see all that much in the next few days. As we see more of a southerly flow of wind, there's going to be that chance of storm surge, coastal Mobile and Baldwin counties, and a storm surge watch, as 2 to 4 feet of storm surge can't be ruled out. Meanwhile, over towards northwest Florida and the north end of Mobile Bay, maybe around 1 to 3 feet. And if we do see tropical storm force winds, it will favor the second part of our Tuesday into our Wednesday. So here's just kind of what you need to know. Tropical Depression 2 is forecast to become Bertha later today. Tropical storm watch in effect along our coast. Storm surge watch for coastal Mobile and Baldwin counties. Based on the current track, potential impacts from winds and locally heavy rain will be confined mainly to coastal areas. High risk of rip currents and rough surf expected along our beaches through Friday, but any shift in the forecast could result in increased or decreased impacts, so continue to stay up to date. Now in the meantime, live look outside, Beau Rivage Tower camera looking towards downtown Mobile, sitting with partly cloudy skies. There's plenty of heat, and even with the good chance of showers and storms in the next couple of days, we'll be keeping an eye on Bertha on the 7-day tracker on Tropical Depression 2. Daytime highs in the 90s, and then by the second part of the week, we're going back to normal summertime all the way into this upcoming weekend.